you can't wait for gardening season, it may be time to give your indoor garden a shake-up. We welcome the Prairie Gardeners, aka Janet and Sheryl. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
You're talking plants. This is my favorite topic of conversation. So why is spring the best time to repot your house plants?
After a growing season, and then after the winter time, you've got that kind of lull in the winter time. They're going to have used up all of the nutrients in the soil. You might have a little bit of a salt buildup from maybe fertilizers or something like that, and they just plain need a refresher. They probably have grown out of their pots a little bit. They've had that full year of growth, and it's definitely time. It's a good time, more light, and really, really good time to do it.
For sure. You also don't want root rot, which is caused by them being so stuck in their pots, right? Yeah, for sure. How often should we repot?
So you're looking at about once a year for most of your houseplants. Not all of them are going to need it. Your cacti probably are not going to need it. If it's a slow growing plant, they're not going to need the extra repotting. It'll be 2 or 3 years or more in between those ones. But some of these guys, absolutely, you're going to want to repot them every year if you can.
Okay. So how should we do it for the newbies at home? You brought in a demonstration. Can we see?
You bet. So I've got this African violet, and I've been growing it in this small pot, but it's getting bigger. So it's time to get him out of this pot and into this pot.
Okay.
So I loosen the soil, loosen the roots. So in this case, I'm just squishing. But what I like to do is I put my hand over top.
Okay.
All right. Loosen this off. Now, this guy's got some decent root system.
Ooh, pretty good, actually.
Yeah, not bad. And you can use your trowel, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop him in some soil in here. I like getting my hands dirty.
Oh, same. I always have dirt under my fingernails. They just absolutely hate me here when I show my hands. I have a question, though. How important is drainage holes for certain plants?
Certain plants, absolutely vital. Absolutely vital. If we put them in a pot like this, which didn't have holes, you'll notice that the pot that it was in had drainage holes.
Right.
Because otherwise you end up with root rot and poor aeration in the soil, and it's a sure way to kill the plant.
For sure. Okay, let's finish up here. So we massage the roots a little bit, like very tenderly. Not too crazy with it.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to kill the poor little guy. And then I just scoop the potting soil around it. All right.
And what soil are we using here? And do you use additives like perlite or sphagnum moss or anything like that? Yeah.
So a potting soil is a soilless growing medium. Long name, so we call it potting soil. And it's typically peat moss or core fiber. And it's a good potting soil will have perlite, which is the little white things that you see in it. I tend to buy my potting soil without fertilizers and moisture beads and things like that in it, because that way I can control the fertilization for the plants that I use. If it's a plant like cacti or a succulent or an orchid, you have specialized growing mixes. But for most of our plants, absolutely just bog standard potting soil. Exactly. But good quality.
Of course,
you don't want to have twigs and sticks inside it, because that's telling me that they use them as fillers, and we want to have it nice and
Good to know.
fine.
Good to know. We only have about 15 seconds. Can you tell us where we can get your book from, please?
All right. So any of the independent bookstores like Audrey's, Paper Birch, you can get it at Indigo. They're in a lot of the garden centers. So
Excellent.
absolutely.
Lots of good info in here. I cannot wait to flip through this. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us this morning. The Prairie Gardeners are hosting a book launch tonight at Audrey's Book at 7 o'clock for their latest book, The House Planter.